Hello, welcome to the podcast from Duendelvin. I'm Taylor, and today we're talking about empires. Again.
Did you unmute?
Alright.
Okay.
Well, what empire are we talking about today?
We'll be talking about the Gundaris Empire.
Gundaris.
Well, what's the first thing about the Gundaris Empire? What are their major trading?
Trading?
Exports?
Exports.
Exports!
Exports.
Everything.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. They are the most resource-rich. Looks like they're the wealthiest nation by a substantial amount.
They got the money.
Here, let me just read this. It might answer all the questions. They're ruled by an elite council, an aristocratic.
Aristocracy?
Thank you. I'm struggling with words today. So,
It happens.
they're known for their agreeable nature. Resources in the empire are as abundant as they come. While they possess little military strength, they are the wealthiest nation by a substantial amount.
So if they
In
need soldiers,
addition-
they'll buy it from another empire.
Right, yeah. In addition to the citizens of Gundaris, the citizens are the most well taken care of by the government and are considered the happiest people. Due to the nature of the people in the Gundaris, the swamp dwellers live in peace with the Gundarians, the elite who run the government were born into their position, and rule is absolute, and they are Thernic followers or peace. So that is Gundaris.
All right.
Big overview. Big picture of
That's a
Gundaris.
big picture.
Ah, so we're just flying above.
Because Gundaris is our
Initially,
northwestern continent of Prezon. Prezon.
It's not French.
No, it's not
There is
French.
no French.
It's really fun to say Prezon.
There is no French in Savarion. Don't let them tell you otherwise.
No French bread. Man. No baguette.
No baguette.
No croissant.
Okay. So yeah, that's
And no goofy French speak. Sorry.
Alright.
Sorry, Canada. Sorry, Ontario.
Anyway,
Wait, it's Quebec.
it's Quebec, yeah.
It's Quebec.
Anyways. Dang it.
I derailed us. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's alright.
I went zoom to Canada through Kungan.
You did that in less than 3 minutes this time.
It's really impressive. I think I don't.
I don't
So
think impressive is the word.
unfortunate is a better answer. Better statement.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
What's the... What are some of the, like, major points in the city? City? Continent?
Empire.
Empire.
We've got big cities. We
The
built
big
this
cities.
city.
I mean, we jumped right to what did we cover? Like, okay, ask your question again. I don't know if I have the answer for it.
Alright.
Ask your question again.
I forgot my question.
What are the major points in the empire?
Yeah, the major,
I got your back
like, yeah, thank you.
and your front.
The major, like, major tourist areas. We can start with that.
Well, I mean,
cities.
Sayatan is their capital.
Yes.
That's the word.
Yep, we got this. Cities. We're there.
Cities. Alright.
Is the capital.
Moving forward.
The capital is Sayatan. What you got for me about Sayatan?
It's the capital.
So we made this decision because we've been working on other things, that we were just gonna kind of wing it as we rolled up into this one, and I think this is our most underdeveloped. This is most definitely our most underdeveloped empire. We've got nothing on hand, so we're going to be sitting here doing some work
We're
today.
gonna make stuff up.
It's
Okay.
create day.
So, Sayatan is centrally located. So
Kungan is
much
on this
like
continent.
the
Kungan is on this continent. It is only appropriate that we flew Kungan in under 3 minutes.
last stand of Kungan. No, the last stand is that.
But Kungan would also be
You're right. Okay, so Sayatan is centrally located in the continent. Um, it is not the largest city, but it is the capital.
It is the seat of power because only the elite seat here.
Mm.
It's also in the wastelands.
Yep. It's like we're so strong we don't need good land. Suck it.
All right.
Because we have money.
We got some money. We got the money. So they would honestly spend a lot of time with adventures, because in order to the wastelands get goofy, but
And
the
plains are the
plains are the
dangerous
most
places.
dangerous, and one of their second major cities, as Abinadom, is in the plains.
Oh.
So they have some of the more how about this? Inhospitable lands. Their
Yeah.
lands are probably some of the most inhospitable.
Which is interesting because they're the only continent without a mountain region. And they're the most resource rich.
I think we made a mistake.
Well, outside of things that you mine, it could still be the most resource abundant.
They've got the forests, they've got the grasslands,
Grasslands, the
they've got the
wastelands.
wastelands, they've got the desert. So they have the most
They also have the
diverse-
largest swampland.
They do have the largest swampland, and that's going to be the one they don't have is the mountains. They have 0 mountain ranges. Huzzah!
Wonderful.
They also have a pretty.
Wasteland mining. Ian, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the foresting, like the woodwork, would be pretty like high here.
Surprisingly, their area, like, you're going to get more swamp wood than you're going to get forest wood,
All right.
which
You have the forest of gravel.
Grawul. Grawul. I think it's Grawul. I was putting the I before the W, and the W comes before the I. What a selfish dirtbag. Anyway, I made a bad joke. Yeah.
I like Ian's idea. I think we should do it.
All right.
We should add.
Phonetic?
But to spell phonetic is
Can you spell
PHON.
phonetic correctly? It's not with an F. It's a PH.
And it's
Phonetic.
O.
Phonetic is not spelled like it sounds.
It's such a disle-
Where phonetic is spelled.
Faux.
Okay, so why don't we do this? So
You're right. We will.
in
we will have to have phonetic spelling.
in Prison, since we're developing,
In present.
okay, so I'm gonna ask if we can canon this, and then if Kyle agrees, he's gonna go canon. Okay, so the desert.
Can we get an actual cannon?
Do what?
We need a little cannon that I can
Like a
just
little-
hit. Yep, and that'll make it cannon. We
Okay,
really
the
should.
desert of Cherd, the plains of Hisselrath, the wastelands of Thernic, the swamps of the Undying, the grassland of Ax, AKS, not AX, and the forest of Grawil.
Grawil.
Okay, so these places, for whatever reason,
Are
are extremely resource rich.
Absolutely.
The wastelands of Thernic, the wastelands on this continent, are going to be. They're called of Thernic because it's the only wastelands in the world where people mine them. But you mine them for valuable resources, not necessarily like stuff you would get in the mountains, but other valuable resources.
I find that this would be a successful automation. Like, you would get tools and materials and stuff you would need for automation work.
Yeah. And so the plains are really, really rich with resources, and then the desert is rich with desert resources, and so on and so forth.
So the plains would also be a pretty wild spot. So you're going to have remnants of, like, so Kungan is going to be there, but people don't go to Kungan. It's a haunted city. It's terrifying. However, you're also going to have a whole lot of orcs making their mecca to go and commit their dead to Kungan. That's still a thing that happens.
Yep.
And so this would be a high transit zone. There'd be a lot of trade, a lot of goods provided, and a lot of services to facilitate travel to Kungan specifically.
Yeah.
And there would be A lot of, yeah, you said a lot of wild
Those
animals,
are spices.
and there will be definitely spices.
I
So
can't see that, Ian.
you're gonna get a lot of, like Ian said, because we're building right now. You're gonna get a lot of more rare. That's why it's so rich. It's not because it's not just abundant. It's abundant in rare materials. So you're gonna get spices that are considered extremely rare, are gonna be grown here, and only here. The materials that you're looking for, like your blackstone, you're only gonna find your blackstones.
Yeah. I don't want to rip off Dune, though.
No,
So when we talk spices, we mean like stuff you flavor your food with spices.
not the spice that lets you traverse the future.
Right. Just
What?
stuff you flavor your
Okay,
food with.
so Dune, real
We
quick.
can-
We'll talk about this afterwards. But
yeah.
Well, if you want to
effectively-
know about Dune, look up Dune.
Look
But
up
we don't
Dune.
want to rip off Dune,
Definitely
so it's spices that you put in your food.
it's kind of impossible
make
to
it
not
taste
rip off
good.
Dune. Frank Herbert was a phenomenal writer and a phenomenal world builder.
But I don't want to
Yeah,
just straight
blatantly.
rip it off.
Yeah.
And so we're not talking about the spice from Dune.
No.
We're talking about spices that you put in like your tea or your food or whatever.
Indian
What's that?
spices.
Yeah.
Spicy spices.
Stuff
Oh.
that flavors
Peppers.
your food.
You're gonna have-
Flavor.
Peppers.
Lots of animals and farming. Okay, Ian, do you want to run this? I like it. Lots of animals and farming because it's a lot flatter, a lot more flat.
Yep.
All right.
And like I said, the plains very dangerous. And the grasslands where you're gonna have most of your animal husbandry happening, animal farming. You're gonna have a lot of ranches in the grasslands of Arx. You're also going to have a more abundant access to gizzards. The gizzards are going to be more prevalent in this area as well, and it will give you the highest quality clothing and silks available. Now you have gizzard farms that exist in Garthia because they don't have to import everything, but in order for supply and demand to be met, they are importing a lot of their material from the from the Gundaris capital. Gundaris effectively supplies the decadence to the world.
Yeah.
You want to ferment something, you want a specialized kind of flavor, Gundaris can cultivate that for you. That's what they do as well. They're innovative as far as luxury. Kind of
Alright.
creepy. You ready for air conditioning? Because they can get you air conditioning. Not yet, but.
Oh, future spoilers. Hey.
Well, that honestly, no. The air conditioning is a technological marvel, and you would get that in the Podalayan Empire. They're the ones that would do that kind of
That
work.
would be tech.
Yeah, that's tech. But here you're going to have, like, I guess real world comparison would be like Taiwan. You get your chips from here, but then the innovation with utilizing them is elsewhere.
I don't know that I see it that way because, so you would get tech from the tech places.
Yeah.
Like any advancements and stuff like this, you would get raw materials and so your silks, your finest spices, your
highest quality stones.
yeah, all of that
black
stuff.
stones come
your
from
black
here.
stones come from here. All of that kind of stuff comes from Prezon.
You're also going to find cores are going to be more prevalent in the Thernic wastes.
Yeah,
Yep. That's why they mine them. They mine them for the remnants of the battles. You have two separate battles that took place in and around the wastes specifically.
Yep.
And they would be pretty aggressive ones.
Alright.
You know, two of our major bloody battles from the times. So that's why it's like mining and sifting. You're looking for
Yeah.
the pieces of past. You're going to find a lot of goblin
Ancient
tech.
cores.
Yep.
stuff like
Alright.
that.
So
Because-
does that mean like there's a highly like geological and like history based town?
Let's see.
It would probably be
Museums and all that.
you might find that in Zentanzio, which is their port city, their biggest port city.
Alright.
Zentanzio is huge as far as the biggest city.
Zentanzio is massive.
It's the biggest city on Prison.
It's the
so-
second biggest city in the world.
Yep.
That's insane.
It is a little nuts.
And it's like you could almost throw a rock to Garthia from there.
Yo, we have the
I mean, it's
lost.
not that close, but it's pretty close.
We have an island called the Lost Island of Suffering. Where'd the suffering go? I don't know, bro. It's lost, but it's right here on the map. I'm sorry. Like, I'm giggling about it because I'm like, what are we going to do with this little island of suffering? Is this where they deport all their... Is this like the Australia for Prison?
Oh my god.
It is now.
Cannon.
Oh gosh, no!
The Lost Island of Suffering is where they send prisoners.
It's the penal island. Okay. I made a mistake. I made a joke.
Now, congratulations.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna get your museums. You're gonna get your homage to historical battles and values. Is gonna be out of Zentanzio because it's going to also be like your big common people. Thinking about the Gundaris Empire and the way they have an aristocracy that's born into it, they're gonna have a massive caste system. You live here, you stay in your zone, like you stay in your lane, your caste. If you are a common man, you are a commoner, and you will find commoner entertainment. Whereas you'll have cities.
Yes, but
yeah,
under the Gundaris Empire,
everyone's happy.
The poor people, people who are your working class, your laborers, your farmers, your poorest, not your farmers, because in this world farming is a big deal, but like your poorest class of people would be middle class in any of the other, and high class in
high class.
Villainy.
Yep. So they're going to be living extremely well. They're going to have access to things that we would take for granted. It's like, oh, you want Wagyu beef? Yeah, no, it's common every day. That's
Sure.
that's
Yeah,
lunch.
it's all over the place.
Yep.
Your poor citizens that are struggling the most live in like these 3,000 square foot houses, and they all own Irbisols and stuff like that.
You won't find a slums in anywhere in prison. What they consider to be lowbrow is going to be like suburbia.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. That'll be the closest thing. You are well taken care of.
Oh, those suburban folks down there.
Look at those poor fools. They live with less than miles between them and their next neighbor. Oh, the poor peoples.
The poor people.
I'm really loud.
There's no like, the poor people in the Gundaris are
They're living high on the hog.
high in the hog.
So then we have Numendil, which is another port city, and it's very close to Flightsendeed.
Okay, so Numendil is a seaside city, a beautiful city. Does no trading.
None whatsoever. It's just a luxury city.
Yeah, it says outside is where the military trains. So the military trains outside of Numendil, but Numendil itself is going to be like just a beautiful city.
I also kind of picture Numendil is going to very quietly import mercenaries to support themselves if they need to. Like that's where the militaries would congregate. Like if they're going to buy soldiers from the
A what island? You want a straight rip off Tolkien? That's
Okay.
what it says. Is a Tolkien island.
Yes, this is the name you use.
where?
What?
Oh, okay. I see what he's saying. So Numendil is an actual city that exists in the Tolkien universe.
No, it isn't.
It's an island.
Numendor
Yeah,
is Tolkien.
that makes more sense.
Oh,
That was like
Funny that we have Gundaris and Numendil. I promise I was not attempting to rip that off. Should we just change it?
We can. We've already changed the fact that Gundaris is now a U instead of an O, so it's
Okay,
not
it's no longer
Gondor.
Numendil. It's...
Give me a second.
We're changing it. Because Ian's right, it's too close.
It is too close.
What?
No, we're not going German.
Seitzendal?
Weizendeal. No, that's too close to German, and it doesn't. Honestly, it should be a closer name to a French concept, but not French itself. We don't do French. But honestly, the sensibilities for like how decadent everything is brings me to
It's got to be like...
a theme.
It needs to be like... Dubai or something.
We're not gonna call it Dubai.
I mean, Nundaria?
I like it. Noondaria. Ta-da! Good job, Taylor.
All
Cannon.
right.
Cannon.
Noondaria is the seaside city. No trading. Outside of the city, it's their vacation spot. But outside of it is the military. But because they have a small military, there's not like...
They effectively stationed their military in the vacation zone. Bro, that's
It's the Air Force.
It's the Air Force. It's like being in the Air National Guard. Let's go.
Yes. Let's.
That might be Space Force nowadays. I don't know,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
Space
I don't
Force
know.
is living in luxury.
I don't
Oh,
know about
boy.
the Space Force.
Big budget. Anyway. So they would have the finest of equipments too. Like thinking about it, they would be. They're not to be slouched. Like we joke on, we'll pick on them, right? But I mean, thinking about it, their equipment's going to be top tier because they have access to top tier stuff. And I picture them more like their military style is more okay. Go fight for me, and they have automated weaponry that fights for them, and so they're each like a squad is going to have almost drones that work
Yes.
with them or summon.
But you're also going to have the least amount of conflict here because people are like, well, living here is awesome.
Yep.
I don't know, why would I fight? I just go live in the town as a poor person and I get a better house than if I'm trying to take over.
And I mean, their patron deity is Theranik.
Peace.
So, war is a game, less of a. The war is a hobby, less of a. Or conflict is a hobby, I should say. Which it's treated very differently. Yeah, you wouldn't have factions popping up. That would be almost all.
Well, you would, just
it would
not
be
as often.
economic, not militaristic.
It
So
would
you would
still
have-
some,
Yeah.
but comparatively to the others, the other nations and stuff, I wouldn't have very many.
Just Dubai. I don't know. It looks like what you typed. I have a hunch that someone hit the microphone button and talked into their phone. But yeah,
So, Sarah, you want to call it just Dubai?
just Dubai.
I like Noondaria. I do. That's good.
Noon Dari is a good call.
Changed it. Boom. Done.
So then we also they have a major faction that's an entire kind of like oh goodness, I'm going over to make sure I get it right. Alakea's continent, where the Podolaians are. They have another another faction that exists separate from the Gundaris Empire, and would have the Swamp Dwellers. They don't actually belong to Gundaris.
True.
We actually
The swamplands. Well, so we talked about the
Yeah.
swamplands last time, where there's like a clear cutoff,
Yep.
right? And so there's a road that goes from Sayatan to Athristal.
Athrizistirol.
Athristal.
Yep. It's Stirol, not Real.
Real.
It's Irol.
Eero.
Yep.
Okay.
As
Athristiral. Athrisisterial. Tyrol.
There's no E on, and there's no IA. in
Irol.
there. We can change it. It's ours. We're in the process of recreating. We have an episode that's
Tyrol.
like
It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Nostrumby. Okay.
We'll get Sarah and Melissa on it.
Athrizistirol. That sounds like a medicine. It's
Yep.
changing.
No. It's good.
It's changing.
It's swamp dwellers.
I love living in Asphysisterol.
It's such a mouthful. We're not.
It's fine.
That's right up there with Bernarnagard dirt.
Listen, it's fine. This is the island of things that are hard to pronounce.
Because their other city is Efohea Vale.
Yeah.
Efohavale. Efohavale. I'm killing Taylor with pronouncing names.
Vale. It's Vale. F-O-H-A-Vale.
Efohavale.
Yeah, they're swamped. They're literally like
That would be more simple, not more
Magic
complex.
people.
That would be okay. So it's magic people. I see what you're saying now. I see.
the swamp dwellers are the magic people.
That's fair because it is the swamp and they do magic. and swamp eat magic.
Small faction of people who like to keep to themselves and study the elements. Usually quiet, kinds of
would
their
have the
faction and swamp
remnants.
dwellers are difficult to work with due to their tampering with the elements. They're just weird people. They're the crazy science guys.
Kind of, because they would also have access to the ancient schools.
Right.
From
Yeah.
Yep.
These are the wild. This is the wild people. Okay.
They are.
I can't read it. You gotta help me. Taylor, go ahead.
Just read it out, Taylor. You can do it. She's killing it.
if Alright, Sarah Davis says, if you're allergic to azestrol, don't take azestrol.
Fair enough.
You see, I like it. We're gonna make little tweaks.
Nope.
We'll make it
Keeping it. Canon.
Dang it!
But there's a road from there to the two swamp dweller cities from Sayatown directly.
Yep.
And so there would be a break in that, but technically, right? Again, we have like a bunch of smaller cities, but technically, that part of the continent is not owned by the Gundaris Empire.
Nope, no one claims the swamps.
And so
Swamps are wild.
we can talk about it when we in
Episodes we
in
get
Thursday's
deep dive.
episode. We can talk about that a little bit and the cities and stuff like that when in the next episode that.
Because our next
we're
city
gonna
we
have
haven't
to do.
talked about on here is Mistrad.
Right, we do the cities in the second episode.
You're right.
We talk about the nation. So
But the nation as a whole, yeah, is going to have a lot of luxury.
lots of them.
Lots of luxury. Travel is going to be a little more difficult, though. Like, travel here, that's what I think it's kind of why people enjoy the Decadence and are taken so well care of, because travel in this continent is dangerous more so than the others.
Yes. Because of the
The
plains and the wasteland.
The plains, the wasteland, the minor military presence. You can have a higher tier of it, like a higher amount of work for adventurers. And so people are going to surround themselves in Decadence to try and hide from the fact that they are living in a super dangerous environment. They don't go outside, so they try to have everything.
They don't leave the
Local.
walls of
Yeah.
the city.
The
Not,
city-
Not they don't walk outside of their home.
That's fair. They're not agoraphobic. But to leave the safety and structure of the city is to invite death or to be weird. Hobbits. Holy crap. They're very hobbit-minded individuals.
Oh boy.
Just kidding. We're gonna
Straight rip off
the
Tolkien. Like, I
Thanks,
just realized
Tolkien.
that.
Appreciate your input.
Wasn't intentional. Holy crap, just realizing it. Like, that is extreme.
Yeah, they just don't leave their areas.
But they're not. So hobbits lived in oblivious nature. They were oblivious and they were forgotten about by the world. It was kind of the cool thing about halflings and hobbits
Right.
in that world. In ours, they are well aware and well integrated to the world. They just understand that to leave their walls is to put aside the things that they've come to accustomed.
So the caravanners are probably a really big deal
Yeah, the caravans
over here, taking people from place to place.
caravanners would have a good established presence, but they make a lot of money over here too. Transportation and adventuring are going to be like their second major value point.
Did it too, thanks. Thanks, Sarah.
Oh, we got some good input today. Moana did it
What did
too.
it say?
Moana did it too.
Oh. Actually, Moana did it more appropriately because they were well aware
Yep.
of the dangers outside.
They just sequestered themselves and decided that trekking on the sea was terrible.
Okay, so let's go ahead and call it here. And then we'll talk about the cities on Prison.
So welcome to the
I
behind
don't know
the
why I
curtain.
keep...
Prison. I'm telling you, man, French.
It's hard to not.
Prison.
Prison.
You can just press on.
Prison.
Just gotta
It's
keep
not a
press
prison.
on. You gotta keep pressing on.
Prison.
Gotta keep pressing on.
And now we have the theme song.
All right.
It's not canon, though. We're not making that canon.
I have a huge writing on a city that's not even on the map.
Is it one of the ones we utilized for
The
one of the
road.
campaigns? Yep.
I did.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll have things to incorporate. We'll
Okay.
eventually update the map and give you guys a better, prettier version so you can see.
Yay.
And when one of us learns how to do that
Yeah.
properly,
We'll have it.
because I don't know how to do it yet.
I need.
I'm still learning.
And
I
I
can
am.
make some little markers.
I'm Excel spreadsheeting.
And I'm writing right now.
Yeah.
Well, not right now. Right
I'm
now.
building our character sheets, which hopefully, like we said, okay, we got 1 minute left, so I'm going to throw this out. So we're working on the role-playing game,
Yes.
and we're going to release it to the public. I don't know when exactly, but I'm working on the spreadsheet that will be utilized for, like, when you create your character sheet. We'll have, like, I'm working on the master copy.
That way, everything else will be updated. So when you go in there and you download all the goodies and you start your own game, you have access to a beautiful Excel spreadsheet, character sheet.
Careful.
That-
It'll be a working as well.
Okay, I apologize. Working, beautifully working
We'll tell you all the things you need to know.
Yes, it'll be functional. How about that? It'll be a functional character sheet.
Yeah.
We'll make
And
a
it's
pretty
a
one
lot of
later.
fun. It's a lot of fun to play too. I enjoy it.
We're gonna purr.
Oh, making it pretty. All right, so yeah, this is kind of the behind-the-scenes look at how we build stuff. We just sit here and have a talk and have a good time. And I honestly think we're going to go to the store at some point in time here very soon, and we're going to get a little cannon, digital cannon, and we're going to hit that button when we decide to make something canon. It's going to be a scramble, and it's going to be a good time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Cannon button.
Bye.
Bye.